I'm Leah Thompson. I am a professional artist and a elementary school art teacher. I wanted to talk a little bit about who I am and how I became an artist. I've always was interested in art, even when I was a little girl. Um, I started painting when I was 13, and I have not put it down since. Um, So I was raised by my mother, and she really instilled in me that I could do anything if I put my mind to it. And what I was interested in was in science, especially botany and art. So no matter what, you know, I don't even know how she did it as a single mother, but she got me in all the art after school programs. Any supplies I needed for art, she bought it. If I said something like off the wall, like I want to play a guitar or something like that, she wouldn't buy that. She said, we don't have money for that kind of stuff. But anything related to art, she would get for me. So I really appreciate my mom. She passed away when I was about 30 years old. So that was about over 20 years ago. But she really instilled in me that I should do what my passion is, and my passion is painting. I was the first in my family to go to college, and I got 2 degrees. I got one in education and one in fine arts. My grandmother said, "Yeah, you can't make making money from art. You better like have a back, a back plan there." And so I took education, but I'm so glad that I took it for the reason that I noticed that there is a gap between art, fine art, and people's appreciation of it because they don't understand it. And I think that's a tragedy. All people should be able to appreciate art no matter if they're artistic or not, whether they have money or not. So I think I've spent, a good part of my life trying to bridge that gap between education, between uh, the average person appreciating art and fine arts. There should not be a gap. Trying to fill that gap. So I do professional art. I do paint, and but I also educate. I've been an elementary school art teacher for 22 years, but I am retiring. But I also teach on my free time. I teach adults about art, about paintings, especially because that is my passion. I teach children for free at different art centers in my area. I do events where there's some kind of artistic twist. I will volunteer to help. Um, so I'm trying to bridge the gap between fine arts and the general public. Um, I also, as far as my art goes, has really developed over time. I used to just do plants and flowers, but now I'm into people. I've always been into people. You know, um, Growing up in Philadelphia, um, I would see people everywhere. You can't get away from it. And I used to go out with my sketchbook and just sketch people. And once in a while, I go and like, especially the homeless people, I would go and talk to them and sketch them while they were talking. I think I've gained a lot of insight on the homeless situation, and uh, I feel like it has not only benefited me, but it benefits the people I talk to because I talk to them. I A lot of myths that I had in my head about homeless people, I don't have anymore. Like for once, a homeless person isn't always a homeless person. People have been homeless and then have gotten a job and not homeless anymore. Also, homeless people doesn't necessarily mean just people that are out there on the streets. It could be somebody staying at your house for free because they would be considered homeless because they can't afford housing on their own. That would be homeless, and it's, they're not um, uh, paying for being in that house. You know, that's also homeless. Um, that homeless people, they're all people that don't want to work. They just want to panhandle. That's not true either. A lot of them very badly would love to work and make their own living. It's really humbling to be asking people for money, you know. So I found out a lot of things about homeless. Um, our military people, way too many homeless in that situation. That should not be. My heart goes out to any veteran that does not have a home after serving their country. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so now I am 55. I've been painting for decades, so I've learned a lot about painting and how to paint and what I desire to paint and what I don't, what I stay away from. I want to be a person that shows joy and shows movement and shows light because that's part of my faith. I am a Christian and I believe that I am called to be a light in the world, and my artwork is a light as well. You can't hide what's in me is in my art. Um, and I love when people come to me and come around me and say, you know, your pictures just bring me joy. I don't know why, they just really do. And I feel privileged to that happens. I have a son and I have a husband of 30 years. I have, my son is 19. He is autistic. Um, and but he takes pride in the work that he does, and I am so proud of him. Graduating high school a year ago, you know, he's on his way to his another job, you know, getting a job, and you know, his the people that supervise say that he's really good at the jobs that he is given. So I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of him for doing that. Other things I really like planting, botany again. I like planting and plants and herbs. Right now I have a herb garden. I really love doing that. Um, I like eating healthy. I like eating from the farm to the table kind of concept. Fresh food is like there is none other like it. I also like going for walks in nature because it's gorgeous, and we should really appreciate. And where I live now in Virginia, there's beautiful sights everywhere and mountains and everything. So I really enjoy walking as well. And also, it's kind of my exercise, is what I do. I want to leave you with this. So, like I said, my faith is very important to me. And there's nothing more than I like to do is to spread my faith, spread my light, spread the light that God had given me. And I do that, I believe I do that through my paintings. Um, People have said that, you know, I was depressed or confused or I was in a dark place, but then I saw your artwork and that really kind of lifted me up. And wow, you know, you don't get a better compliment than that. So my thought to you is that you need to find your light and let it shine so that it can lighten other people's lives.